Good morning, everybody. It's Sally, and I'm just back from my holiday, so I hope you'll forgive me that this is kind of a unfocused start to my day. My day really started this morning when I got to get up and make my own coffee in my own kitchen and have a bath in my own bathtub and know where all my things were. I think it's always lovely to come back home. It's nice to go away. It's nice to experience new things and new people. But there's something about becoming a creature of habit that's not a bad thing when you get to be in your own home and stand in your own kitchen. Now, maybe everybody's kitchen is not their thing, but for me, that's sort of where I belong. I like to be in that space. That's the creative space of our house, and a place where love is generated, because caring for the people in your family, one way or another, is an act of love. And the way I do that generally seems to be feeding my husband. I don't seem to do very well on the cleaning and ironing front. I do laundry, and I do cook for him, and I do shop, and I take care of him. And that's good, because he needs it. Anyway, he takes care of me too, in many other ways. But that's how I started my day today, was just being able to start afresh, a new day, in my own space, and it felt really good. Really, really good. I'm really enjoying a nice, slow morning. But I wanted to share a little bit about some of my reflections of my trip this week, and in the fact, again, that when I travel, there's two things I want. Two things I'm traveling for. One is to see beautiful places, and the other is to meet beautiful people and to connect with people, even if it's just for a little bit. I think when I think back on, when I stop to reflect on holidays I've taken or places I've been, the things that are always the most memorable are the people that you meet. There are moments of majestic beauty, yes, and they just are there. And you almost absorb those in a different way. They inspire you. They inspire me. But when you meet new people and you find a connection there, this week I've had the opportunity to stay in a farmhouse, I think it's a 16th century farmhouse, and the couple that were there was an older Englishman and his wife, who is French, who spoke fluent English, beautiful woman, and her grandson. And to be with Louis and Odile and Ben was a really good time for me. To see Odile love her grandson, the way she interacted with him, just to be able to observe the love and affection and affirmation that just went. It was like a big love fest every day. I got to watch, just observe those two people and how they were together. I cried when I left. Just because it was such a beautiful thing to see. And I wonder, where will he go and what will he be? He's 5. He's such a smart little kid, and he's so sweet and spontaneous and crazy, and I understood very little of what he said to me because it was all in French. But we connected all the same. It's what it's about. It's that human connection. We met another couple. We stayed in people's houses. I'll just tell you about this. We stayed in people's houses. And the 4 days were in France, and one night before we went to France, so that Steve was rested for the drive, we stayed on the coast of the English Channel, waiting to get on the train the next morning early. And we stayed with a young couple, had a beautiful row house in a place called Sandgate. It was a little beach community, old building. They had redone it. It was so wonderful, and we had the most magnificent, peaceful space. It was light and white with blue bedding and linens, and they were as fresh-faced and young and enthusiastic about life as they could have possibly been. It's almost like you can feed from people. Their spirits feed you. Their light just gives you something wonderful. And needless to say, I've told both of those sets of people that they should come and visit us in Oxford, and of course they could stay with us because, I'm not doing Airbnb, so I'm not charging anybody to stay at my house. But, I said, it's part of a thing called Airbnb. You should look it up. It's really wonderful. So you get to know the people who are letting you have a space in their home for a short period of time for a reasonable amount of money. And, but to meet Caroline and Guy in the first house we stayed in was also precious. She's studying to be a life coach. She's getting ready to launch her new career as a life coach. She had tons of awesome books on the bookshelf, and you would sit down and you start to look at their books and you're like, hey, I like what she reads. This is very interesting. I wish I had time to know her better. So we talked about it a little the next day. So I hope they will come to Oxford and have a big adventure for a weekend and just stay at our house. So I guess that's really not much about greenlighting your day, but remembering what a good time we had this week and the people we met and the things I experienced, which I'll talk about a little later. Maybe I'll make another video for the weekend since I was tardy on mine, and Jeannie needs fill-ins for the weekend sometimes. I was profoundly touched by going to Normandy, and I would like to talk a little about that experience too. So you guys have a wonderful day. Greenlight your day, remembering that people connections, I guess if you're a people person, it's where it's really at. People connections. I'm thankful for my people connections today. I'm thankful for my people. Thank you, people. You guys take care. Bye.